I don't know if I'll be able to see your chat. Let me see if I can pull your chat up. I'm going to put this over here. You might lose the connection. Okay, no worries. So I'm going to take my earplug out thing because it hurts my inner ear. But so one of the things I wanted to just share is planning and like setting goals for when you're looking at trying to focus on your business. It's not just just we instantly think once we have a business that we're going to go straight into like planning our marketing and stuff like that. But there's a lot to kind of focus on with just getting your business going. And sometimes setting up a lot of things can take up to even a year to sort of feel like you're getting into the flow of having your business get going. And then there's also the marketing. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was twofold. I wanted to be available to answer any questions about that you might have about starting your business, but also about planning some goals for the next couple of quarters. And when we break up the year, we're going to break it up into quarters. So right now, as you can see on the screen, I have this calendar that I have up is from the Cat Writers Association. And so they have a list of holidays and like events and things like that. And so they have, as you can see here, they have the whole year. Now I have this and a whole bunch of other things listed in a calendar, which I can't find. It might be hidden right now. I might have put it in my certification course that's not up yet. But basically, you have any? Okay, I just didn't know if you had a question. But basically, they do it by the whole year. They list it out. And what I want you to think about is looking at the calendar, looking at what you're doing for your business in chunks of by quarter. So the first quarter, we've already gone through January, February, and March. Now we're going into the second quarter, which is April, May, and June. So even though there are some things you might want to start planning for when it comes to your cat sitting business, which will be probably in the third and fourth quarter, there are some things that we can focus on in this second quarter. Can you think of anything that you are trying to focus on, whether it's in your business or in marketing, that you would want to do for this second quarter? Thinking, okay. So let's go look at this calendar from this perspective of looking at it first from the second quarter. In April, we have some notable dates. And so some of these things that we're going to look at are going to be things that we can use in our social media posts or an email newsletter, or even if you wanted to start kind of connecting and partnering with other organizations in your area to try to have some kind of, if you were going to have a table or if you were going to do any outreach, that sort of thing. So, or sponsorships, or if you were going to sponsor anything. So I'm not talking about like events that are going to be in the summer right now. I'm just trying to think of things like what do you have to do on your second quarter? Now, right now you're going on a cruise, so you're kind of in cruise mode, but you're going to hit the ground running when you get back. So we have to have a plan of action for what you might want to tackle first. So let's just go over some of the topics that are for April, and then we'll do May and then June. Hold on one second. My cats are attacking each other. One minute. Okay, so we have Animal Cruelty Prevention Month. This is from the Animal Society for the Protection of Cruelty to Animals. Some of these have links to them, and that means that you can go to their website and get some information. And sometimes these organizations will have some publicity things you can, if they really got it together, they'll have things that you can share on your social media that you don't necessarily have to recreate the wheel, or you could use in creating some different things. Let's see. Then there's National Heartworm Awareness Month. And then there's the National Pet First Aid Awareness Month. Now, this is interesting because I think you got certified, and then another person that just took the course is going to be getting certified next week. So if you had a social media page, this would be the perfect time in April to sort of post that you got certified, maybe talk about something that was that stood out to you when you were getting trained and that sort of thing that you could share with people. And then over here it says draw attention to the need to show specialized pet first aid. So basically what that means is this is a cat writers group, so they're focused always on drawing attention to the needs of knowing how to care for the cats in an emergency. Then April 9th was the FIP Awareness Day. Now, these dates were for 2016, I think, and I don't think they've updated it. So basically, these dates can shift. A lot of times, like you'll see that it'll be from whatever, a week. Like, for example, April 11th, National Pet Day. So that's coming up. That's something you might be able to look into and then post something about it. April 10th through 16th. So now this is a week, National Volunteer Week. So there's also National Animal Control Appreciation Week. So if you guys have an animal control officer in your town, and there's people working with animals in your town, you could maybe bring them a little basket or bring them some coffee and goodies or something to kind of say hi and get to know them, and bring your cards and that sort of thing, because they know a lot of people, and you could kind of do a little promotion on that. You could make them feel special and just put it on your social media that that you did that, and bring awareness to what they do to help cats in your area. There's National Pet ID Week, and there's Animal Cruelty Human Violence Awareness Week. Then there's the National Environmental Education Week. And then there's the Pet Owners Independence Day, Pet Owners Day. Then we're going into Earth Day, then National Pet Parents Day, National Kids and Pets Day. Now, this is so interesting because I've never really looked that one up, but for me, from a cat perspective, I don't have a lot of clients. They're not my targeted audience. People who have kids, they tend to, they don't really pay, they don't want to pay like a lot for services usually. And so they tend to just hire their friends or like people that they know. They seem to know a lot of people, like, because they're in a lot of events with their kids, or they just get their neighbor or someone, usually. So I probably wouldn't personally do anything with that, but maybe there's a way to look at that. Certain people might think that there's something they could do with that. There's the Free Feral Cat Spay Day. Alley Cat Rescue, they're such an awesome organization. These people are so good. They've really got it together with information about how to help cats. And so they have a lot of resources, at least they did on their website. And so that's something you might be able to do. Where are they located? That's a good question. I don't know where they're located, but they definitely do a lot of national education. I've also seen that lady speak. I saw her speak somewhere at some animal event like 20 years ago. And then there's Hairball Awareness Day. Now, I think that's something you could do something fun with, definitely, as a cat sitter. Like you can help people while they're away, making sure that they're getting their hairball medication, and don't have a hairball. I can don't have a hairball over it. It'd be kind of funny. You can just you can do so many things, you know what I mean, with that one. That one's not till the end of the month. So you could put something in place, and you could even add stuff about hairball care or whatever. You know, do a little research on how to treat hairballs. Usually, they either need to come up, or, you know, that's why a lot of people like Coaster. Remember Coaster? He had the cat grass, so it kind of can help them when they're trying to get stuff up that they need to get up. And then there's medications like Laxatone that can help them smooth it out, so it passes easier. Then at the end of the month, there's National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day. That one could go either way, dog or cat. And so maybe you find some local shelters in your area, or rescue groups, which there are some in your area, that you could ask if you could post something on your social media page to share that, you know, and then let them know that you're a cat sitter. Then there's also World Veterinary Day. So this is interesting. It's like the World Veterinary Association. I have not looked that one up to see what that is. But one of the things is that cat people tend to not take their cats to the vet because for many different reasons. Usually we have like a ton of cats, and we end up knowing a lot about doing animal care. So we're trying to do some stuff like at home to keep them from having to go to the vet as often. And then other times you have so many cats, you know, sometimes you don't have a ton of money to go to every little thing that happens. The third thing is there's stress and anxiety that's involved with taking a cat to the vet that gets stressed. And then a lot of times true cat parents kind of work themselves up inside just about the whole process of going and taking your cat, and then just maybe whether you like the vet or not. And then if they take the cat, there's just like, so maybe there's something there that could be like a connection. You know, I'm not really sure, but if you have any ideas, I'd love to know, because it is important for the cats to go to the vet. And I truly believe that having a good vet is like vital. So I have one that comes to my house primarily. So, okay, now we're jumping into May. May, like the weather is going to change. Now, one thing you're not going to see on this calendar that I have on my calendar are some of the traditional like yearly holidays. So in May we have, can you guess what is the number one holiday in May? We've got Mother's Day, right? So people sometimes travel on Mother's Day. So that's something you should try to like make a mental awareness about, or maybe if you want to think of some of the holidays that are coming up, especially for May and for June, and things that people might take off, especially when the weather starts to get better. People are going to want to get out of here. They're just going to want to travel. They're going to want to, you know, take trips. And you've got really from May until like August, where you have the best weather that we have here in the country. So that's when I would really be focused on. You want to make sure all of your media and your business cards and your connections are sort of out there, so that you have a really good summer, because it's really, they just are going to be traveling. So let's think, we've got Mother's Day. If you, I don't have a calendar open, we can look, maybe I'll open another calendar in a minute. But let's get through the May ones. So May, you have National Pet Month. Then you have a Responsible Animal Guardian Month. And then you have Asthma and Allergy Awareness Month. Then you have Pet Cancer Awareness Month. A lot of medical kind of stuff. Then you have Chip Your Pet Month. And then, you know, that's something you might be able to talk about in your social media, because collars, microchips can help in the event that their cat were to ever get out of their house. And so you could put some information about that, you know, and that you try to keep, you know, your goal is to not let them out of the house. And, but maybe like look up some information about that, and you could share some information about that. You know, and also hobbyists or like neighborhood kids have been known to accidentally leave doors open or windows open, and accidentally just not meaning to, but this has happened. I mean, I've seen this in my personal experience when other people are coming into the house. That's why pet sitters insurance will not cover if something happens and there's other people in the house. Because I think that they know that when you have other people in the house, they're not taking the responsibility on themselves a lot of times. They're just like fiddly dee, they're doing whatever. And they think they're doing an amazing job, but then they accidentally don't really close the screen door or something. So anyway, I've seen that. Let's see. May 3rd, National Specially Abled Pets Day. So I know you're not doing a lot of special needs care right now, but if someone is watching this that is doing some special needs care, and that may be basically things that any cat parent can do that you are going to do while they're away. So it could just be transdermal ear medication. It could be giving pills or putting pills in their food. It could be putting pills on a treat. It could be not necessarily giving any medication, but watching their urine and their bowel movements and seeing if they're hydrated and things like that. You could spotlight some of the services that you are comfortable with when you're kind of promoting National Specially Abled Pets Day. And then there's Be Kind to Animals Week. Now that's something that, see how these are all lit up here in the pink? There's a link to the website, and when you go there, a lot of them will have information. It'll say, like some of them are weird. They'll say that you can't even use any of their images or anything like that. And it's sort of like, okay, so I can't promote this because they've locked down all the use of their own stuff. So I don't really know. Maybe you'd have to go to their social media page when they post something and then share it. I don't know. They usually, the good ones will have like social media things that you can use to educate people, because that's what they're trying to do. So there might be events that they have scheduled, or like one of them, and I'm not sure I don't think it's till the fall. It's like Fill the Bowl or something day. And it's, there's a human one that they do to raise money for food, pantries and food for families in need. And then there's one for pets, so that they donate food and things for local shelters for supplies and to get them through like the fall and the winter and that sort of thing. But anyway, switching back here, May 1 through 7, so this is a full week, National Pet Week. These are some things like, there's a lot of ideas here that you can do some pre-planning for your ideas for marketing. You could, and you don't have to do all these. I'm not saying do all of these. I'm just saying you look at the list and you go, let me see. I think these 2 or 3 really connect with me and my business and what I'm trying to do. And so I'm gonna, either do some social media posts, or I'm going to put something on my website, or maybe there's something locally that you can make an in-person connection with some different groups or people, or the animal control shelter, or, things like that. Yeah. Yeah, I would say to just get your feet wet. And as you look, and as I was saying, like right now you're in cruise mode. So maybe you're looking towards the end of April, and then May is when I really hope that you are going to start getting your jobs in. So my number one thing with you is getting out there. So when you come back, I'd like to go with you personally to a couple of the towns in your area and just really help you get your business cards out there and talk to people. I love talking to people. And we'll pick some places that are like, we think these are some targeted areas, and we'll go there and we'll talk to people. I'll talk to people and just, we'll get the business cards out there, flyers, whatever I can do to help you, so that people know that you are out there. So, that's like in-person work that you're doing, hustling out in the community. And then there's the online stuff. So getting some of these social media posts on a social media platform. Like, do you think you're going to do Instagram, or I think Instagram is probably a lot of people love Instagram. Or do you think you're going to do like Facebook, Insta? Okay. So now the what do you call it? The Canva thing will let you schedule stuff. You had asked me, do you have to have it be pro? Maybe Facebook. So the interesting thing is they are connected somehow. And I do see stuff on Facebook from Instagram. You'll have to teach me how to use Instagram because maybe I need the app. I think that's the problem, is I'm trying to use it maybe from my computer. But pick one place primarily, and then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of be communicating through. Oh, okay. You're going to communicate through your main place, and then also your website. So if you have a blog, or if you have something that you could share some things, so when people connect, wherever you want them to connect back to you, make sure that those pages have what you need on there. And then the third thing is your Google business page. There's a place for those posts. So I would repurpose those posts. We're talking about repurposing. I would repurpose those social media post things to your Google business page, so that you're getting it out there in lots of different ways. Okay, let's keep going because we're still in May. So did I already say National Pet? There was Be Kind to Animals Week. There's a lot you could do there. National Pet Week, Animal Disaster Preparedness Day, Endangered Species Day. Thinking, let's see, National Heat Awareness Day. And it's so interesting because National Heat Awareness Day is in May. They have on this calendar. But the month that a lot of elderly cats have the most difficult time, especially if they have kidney disease, or like any kind of serious medical issue, is August. August is a month that I would repurpose this heat awareness thing. July. What about July? It's hot. Yeah. Yeah, it is hot. So just having that awareness, like extra water, people can put ice cubes in their bowls, things like that. Having the basement, if they have a basement where they can get cooled off, if they don't want to have the AC on. Like a lot of clients will not put the AC on, and you go into their house and it's like literally, I'm not kidding, it's like 95 degrees in their house, and they don't have any windows open, and there's no air. There's no fresh air. They've got nothing circulating. My body's already having like an initial inflammatory response just thinking about those houses. Anyway, not all clients do that to their cats. And actually what's funny is sometimes people will have an AC on that I can put on when I come in. And like, let's say I come in the morning, right? I have a client that you recently met, and they don't like stuff really be on while they're gone, electricity wise. But when I come in, I can put the air conditioner on, and I can time it so that it can be on and go off, let's say 4.5 hours later. So that's nice. Other people, they don't realize that I'm a human being and I have to work in 95 degree humidity in their moldy houses. But anyway, and I feel bad for the cats too. Cats don't seem to mind the heat as much, but it will get to them. Senior cats with medical issues, people might say, well, they like the heat. Well, that's true, but that still can cause a dehydration issue. It's like they might like it to be warmer, but they still have a medical issue. So it's hard to explain that to people, but a lot of true cat parents get it. Okay, now we're going into June. This is the end of the end of the second quarter. So in June, there's National Pet Preparedness Month, because the hurricane season starting. There's Adopt a Shelter Cat Month. So that's another thing, Adopt a Cat Month is like, there's two groups that sort of do something similar. So I bet you'll be able to find some maybe even pre-made social media stuff for the cat specifically, because it's about cats. Then there's a Pet Appreciation Week. Then there's International Hug Your Cat Day, which you could You can totally come over and hug my cats and talk about that. Or go to some maybe a shelter or something and hug a cat day. There's World Pet Memorial Day. And I'm looking at that and I'm saying, you know, I've been wanting to finalize my cat little cemetery out by my mailbox. So I think this year I'm probably going to finish doing that. And this, maybe my goal would be by that time. Then there's mid-June is Animal Rights Awareness Week. So it's interesting. They don't have the date because sometimes the dates of those weeks will change. Like if it's the second week or the third, the third week, the numbers are going to change for that. Then there's the International Box Day. So this is when, yes, you could do that. You could do that. I bet this is going to be something. If you looked at this whole calendar for the whole year with, pre-thinking some of these things like the portraits and stuff, you'll be able to probably connect one or two things with these things. So let's see. Then there's the International Box Day. And that's because cats, people buy $300 cat beds and cat trees. And then the box that it comes in becomes their place to play and sleep. It's kind of funny. And then there's June. Oh, did somebody say something? Sorry. I think I didn't hear something. So then we have in the end of June, we have Cat Writers Association has their annual conference. And then there's Cat World Domination Day. Have you ever seen the video? It's a commercial. It's called, I call it Cats with Thumbs. Have you seen that video ever? Cats with Thumbs. It's an ad for milk. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Hold on one second. If I can find it, I'll switch the hold on. Cats with Thumbs. It's called Cravendale Milk. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Oh yeah. Hold on one second. I'm gonna get this up and I'm gonna switch. How do I switch? Okay, hold on. Share. I'm gonna switch it here. Let me see. First I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna see if I can switch. Lord have mercy. Safari. How can I switch to the Safari window? Oh, maybe I do that. Let me see. Okay. Now, tell me if you can hear it, Michelle. This is the commercial. Can you hear that? Okay, hold on. It's all the way up. So you can't hear it? The volume's too low? You can't hear it? Oh, that's a bummer. I wonder how I get it to play. Hold on. Let me see if I can unplug my... I don't know a lot about... Hold on. I'm going to rewind it. Tell me if you can hear it now.
Why do cats stare when you're pouring milk? It's like they know it's only a matter of time. Time. The only thing between them and opposable thumbs. Imagine that. Cats with thumbs. And what if they got together? Gangs of cats with thumbs. An organized army with one thing on their mind. Cravendale. Well, jog on, kitties.
All right, hold on. Let me get myself back here. Let me see. How do I find myself? Oh, I'm going back to my...
Hey everyone, just wanted to give you a quick heads up. Paleo.
I'm still on that. All right. Can you see the Cat Writers Association calendar? Let's see. Okay. Can you see the cat calendar again? I think so. Okay. So my point in sharing. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let's see. How do I do that? How do I make it bigger? Let me see if I can make it bigger. Zoom in. All right. How's that? Is that a little better? Okay. So the reason I wanted to share with you about the that video, it's called Cats with Thumbs by Cravendale. It's a milk commercial. You can see that they probably took that idea of the Cats with Thumbs like day or whatever, and or the Cat World Domination Day, and I think there is actually a day called Cats with Thumbs Day or something. And so you can take it and you can, they use it to sell milk, and so it's like you can tell that it was a cute connection between the two. And they probably have a lot of people that have that are cat clients, cat people, So anyway, okay. So now where am I? I'm back to Pet Appreciation Week. Then there's International Hug Your Cat Day. Then there's Measer Colors Day, which I don't have any idea what that is. Just one day of no kill in shelters worldwide. Then there's World Pet Memorial Day. Maybe that's a day that you share about your cat that you had that you loved, a story or an old picture, something like that. Then you have Animal Rights Awareness Week. Then you have International Cat Box Day. Then you have the Cat Rights Association Conference, and then the Cat World Domination Day. So April, May, June. So those are some ideas for the first quarter. But what I want to do is I want to find maybe just a Google Calendar. Let's see. Okay, let's find a Google Calendar. And I'm going to just take off all this stuff and go to time to bet. Where are the regular holidays? Let's go. Let's see if there's any holidays. Well, this isn't good. Doesn't have any holidays. How about other calendars? Unbelievable. How do we find calendar of holidays? Maybe 2025. 2025. Let's see what we can find. A list. I'm just looking for a list. Let's see. Dates. Calendar dates. Oh, here we go. How's this one? Can you see this one? Let me see if I can make this one bigger. Okay. All right. So let's go from April. We had April Fools, Passover we've got coming up, Thomas Jefferson's birthday, Easter, Earth Day, Take Your Daughter to Work Day. So then we're going to go into May. We've got May Day, National Day of Prayer, Cinco de Mayo. That might be something that you could do something fun with. Mother's Day, that was the one I was thinking of. Then there's Armed Forces Day, Memorial Day. That's when people go away, because there's so much. It's like a long weekend. You know what I mean? So think of that day as a weekend that you should be available. And then you have in June, which would be we have a lot of Shavuot, and we got Father's Day. Summer solstice. I'm not sure what some of those other ones are. So anyway, that's just sort of calendar ideas. And when you look at your business, break it up into quarters and try to think of things ahead. So let's say you're done. Let's say you pick a couple of things for your second quarter after you get back from your trip, and you kind of put it in priority. Number one is getting out there and getting your business cards and flyers in the towns that you really, maybe you're going to target strongly in those towns, or whatever it is you're going to do, to whatever you feel comfortable doing, promoting yourself in those towns. So, and then getting to know people who can be connections. Like maybe there's something with the medical, the one that was the veterinary one, that you could do. Maybe you could partner with one of the animal hospitals and, do something would be clever, between you and them. And maybe you could do something cat related. And I'm not really sure. We kind of brainstorm and see if there's one in your town or one that you really like. You think whichever one maybe was the best connection when you went in there. Maybe there's something that you could do to promote the cats coming to the vet type of thing. They might be receptive for something like that, some clever thing. And then once you have decided a few of these things that you're going to share on your social media and you get those scheduled, then you can think of the next quarter and go from there. So you're going to think of the things that you need to do for your business that still need to get taken care of on the business side. And then you're going to think about the things you can do like through social media and connections and things like that. All right. So do you think that there's anything that's jumping out at you that you think that might maybe it resonated with you? Any of those things? I can go back to the cat writer's calendar. When are you getting back? Is it the week of the 20th? Is it before or after Earth Day? Okay. April 25th. Okay. Yeah. So you'll be right on time for Hairball Awareness Day. I think that's funny. Anyway. All right. Very good. So do you have any other questions? Anything that you could think of that you need any help with? That I might help with at all? So, yeah, brainstorming is good. Kind of soaking it in, and then not all of these things, like I said, are gonna be for you and your business for cat sitting. Maybe they're for something else, and then my calendar had about other things because I have a lot of the times when people go away and local events. I have a lot of things in there that are like local type of things. I'd like to expand that list. So I know I heard that in Marshfield. Let me see if I can go to Facebook. There was a pet event in Facebook. Let me go to events. Where is events? Where is the calendar? God, I'm really bad at this. Oh, the women owned. Can you see my Facebook calendar here? I hope so. There's the women owned business expo that's available this Saturday, and then let me see. There was like a pet event in Marshfield that I saw. Let me see if I can put in Marshfield. How do you find location? Marshfield. Yes. Marshfield, Massachusetts. Oh, it's a dog day. Let's see what that says. It's not until April 27th, so you'd be back. It's not really a targeted area. Marshfield Dog Park. They're doing like a vendor fair. So I'd like to actually create a vendor fair, sort of like a day for cat people. So I've been really like working that out. It would probably be in the fall. It'd be something. I'm trying to find something. Yeah, you need an angle to sell in addition to the portrait. What's an expertise that I have? Can you specify? Like you want to sell your portraits? I know you want to sell your portraits. I mean, I think you could take some of your really like your paintings of some of the cats, and you could turn them into coffee mugs, mouse pads, T-shirts. Kind of cool. You have that gift. You know what I mean? To be able to create something that's uniquely yours, your style. So, but yeah. I mean, it'll come. I will say. She's saying that she's looking for a skill of her own. It's basically what it is. What is your unique selling point is what it is. It's like you can do cat sitting, but then there's like for me, it's probably because I not only do detailed care like in the house and stuff, but I do the animal care. And that's just because, well, I went to school for animal care, but I wasn't necessarily doing that when I first started my cat boarding business. I was doing grooming. And then I started, obviously ended up with like 8 cats, and then you have to do a lot of medical care. And then I had a good vet that taught me how to do a lot of that stuff. And I tried a lot of things. And it was like in the olden days when you could call him on the phone and like talk to him, and he'd tell me what to do. And I know the people don't have that really anymore. But there's special needs care. There's cleaning people's litter boxes that can't do it. That's another thing. I think the other person that's taking my course was saying that probably going to do that. She has physical strength to lift litter bags of litter and clean, and that's something I think I know people that would pay for that to have that help. And then there's you have to think too. In the summer, you got to be, the bird feeder, the squirrel stuff. I have clients that is like a big, huge chunk of my job is making sure that the water for the birds and the bird baths and the bird feeders with the corn for the squirrels and everything. That's a huge thing. Maybe that's something you could specialize in. Because that's really important, because the cats, they look outside and that keeps them entertained, that kind of thing. And then there's people who, if you have skill in plants, I have clients that have lots of plants, and it's knowing like what to feed and when to water. If you could learn something like that, then you could actually help them out, because a lot of people have a lot of plants, and they have like certain types of flowering plants that only need like an ice cube once a week. And I think someone who knows how to do that, I think could attract, because cat people have lots of bird things outside, and then they also have plants, and a lot of them have gardens and that sort of thing. So having that knowledge, it's not just saying you can do it, it's saying that you have that knowledge, that you can offer that expertise. So I think I would just sit down and think of like some of the things that you like. Do you like gardening? Would you want to learn about plants? Would you want to like make some cat grass for people's cats? Can you tend to their plants? Can you tend to their garden? Your business has the concierge services in there. Maybe that's your unique selling point, is that you could offer some concierge extra services, extra add-on things that other people just can't offer. And so I will tell you that cat people like to have a lot of these services, that if you know how to do them. They just think that no one can do them. They don't have anybody they can trust or that's knowledgeable to do some of these things. And then they feel weird. They don't want to ask people to do it. But if someone's gone in the summer for like a week and a half, they need to have someone help them, you know? And so not only if you're really good with their cats, but yeah, give that some thought and think about that, because the summer is really big for that. And those are some of the things that you could, like, these are some of like add-on services. These are some of the things that make your business uniquely you. Maybe it's not just cat sitting. Maybe you could also offer to pick up, you know how some people do the Instacart and they'll go shopping for people or whatever. Maybe you could look into, I'm not sure if you can do this, but one lady I talked to who works at Mary Lou's, she does, I think it was Instacart. There were two companies, and she said one was bad and the other one was really good. So I'd have to ask her again. I see her at Mary Lou's, but one of them is good, and it's an app, and you can see things come up, and you can go and pick up the order. You can, almost like an Uber thing. You click and say, I'm going to pick that up. Now, most people think about that as like you use Instacart for, let's say, going to the grocery store. But you can actually use it at Petco and like pet stores. And maybe you could have a thing with some of the local, if there's any small business pet stores, maybe there's a way that you could work with them, and they could like contact you if they need cat supplies, and you could be willing to somehow go get them or something like that. I'm not sure. Oh, DoorDash. That was the worst one. DoorDash, if they were late picking it up, they wouldn't even get paid for the job. And they said that sometimes, like, especially for Mary Lou's, or when you go to like a restaurant to pick up food, this is what she said, is that if they're really busy and they can't get you the order because they've got people they're waiting on and like whatever, if it goes over a certain amount of time, they will not even pay that person anything, nothing. So she loved Instacart. So what I'm trying to say is there other things that maybe it could be under your business, but you get this income from like an Instacart that goes to like Petco or PetSmart only. Like you see it come up and you're like, could you do that? I mean, would they even allow you to pick and choose? You know, maybe you just say, if you use Instacart and I see it come up through these businesses, can you say I can pick that? I don't know. So this is something I'd like to know more about, but I really don't know. But I could ask my Mary Lou's lady, because she said she made like $40,000 last year doing pickups of stuff at the grocery store. And I see her at the grocery store as well. She is sort of a private shopper for people too. So she's done a lot of different types of services like that. So, you know, that's a possibility, as well as incorporating maybe some of these other, we think like, oh, that's a separate business, but it actually wouldn't be. It'd be like you have maybe a pickup and delivery of pet supplies under your business, like through your website. You can, maybe advertise that. I would look into that and see if that's something you could pick and choose from. If it's pet related and it's right in your area, maybe it would work. Or maybe you could offer that as a service, in some way. I'm not sure how that would work, because it would have to just be like cat litter, cat food, something like that. So, I don't know. Give that some thought and see if that might help brainstorm some other things that would kind of connect with your business. I know that there are people sometimes who you're doing cat sitting and they aren't good planners and they don't have enough cat litter and things like that. I have gone and picked up supplies, and then I charge, a $20, trip fee or whatever like that. So anyway, and then of course they have to reimburse me, which gets complicated, because if they reimburse you, now it looks like it's income. So you really have to track, well, that's not income. That's actually being reimbursed, and that's not taxed. So it can get complicated. But if you were working for like an Instacart app, if it could let you pick and choose, like once you say you take a job, she says you hit it and say, I'm claiming that job, and you have to go and pick it up and then bring it over. If you were to do that, that would just be income from Instacart, right? For pet supply pickup. Then there could be another one that would be, let's say, income from, your pet fair day, whatever. I sold some paintings of cats, or I made some keychains of cats, or whatever. That's just another source of income. So there could be many things, Someone could hire you to come and show them how to paint cats. That could be just another source of income on your business, or you could think of different things. I know that I said I would like to offer to teach you how to do nail trims. And I think in some cases it could be possible to do that for some of your clients while you're there. That's a potential add-on service. So let me see. Let me see if I go to my Purview page. Hold on. Purview, and go to, I want to show you something. Some of the add-ons I have are administering medications, watering gardens and patios. Now this is addition to just a few plants in the house. This is like they have a lot of plants. They have a lot of plants outside. Then I sometimes have to leave the hose on. I've got to remember to turn the hose off. Things like that. Okay. Litter box cleanings. Some people have me do some light housekeeping. So like, even though I might sweep up around the box, maybe they want me to do a quick, take the vacuum and kind of clean up all the stuff. That would be an extra, maybe like $6 to $10 to go around the house, depending on the house, depending on if it's easy to do. If you have this huge vacuum, you got to set up the whole thing and drag and put it away. Then that's more money. But if they just have a Dyson that you can quickly just take out and run around, that's maybe just a little bit less money. Nail trims, you have ear cleanings, you could do brush outs. Long-haired cats, I start at like $4 and I go up. And so it's not doing a full grooming, it's just adding on doing some brushing every time you're there, or they might say, can you do it twice a week while I'm gone, that's I think. Then there's eye cleanings, and then I do chin cleanings because that's part of like grooming. I do some other grooming things too. I do like full groomings, but I don't really put it on there right now because I have clients that I do it for, and I know I just physically, it's doing the bigger grooms have been harder in people's houses. And if I could feel a little better, then I could potentially, if I could feel better at some point, I'm thinking it would be fun to do real cat grooming once or twice a week somewhere, but I'm not up to it yet. And I would have to do it somewhere where there's like air conditioning, fresh air, lots of lighting, and people don't talk to me, because every time I'm somewhere, they want to talk my ear off. And then the cats are confused, and then that's when they get nervous. And it's when you do it one-on-one and you're centered, they can feel that you're centered. And so I have better luck when people aren't around. So, yeah, I think you're off to a good start. And yeah, think about your unique selling point. And just take it one step at a time. But the number one thing is getting your business cards out there, getting your connections, letting people know, especially right in your town, who you are. And the other thing I was going to say is like a yard sign might be really good. And let me just figure out what I did with my yard sign. Dustin made it for me. I have had like the ones that go in the ground. Hold on. Hi, baby. Tiggy's here with me. So, basically, let me come back to myself here. Let me see. How do I not share the screen? Okay. Stop sharing the screen. Oh. Let's see. Oh boy. I don't know how to not share the screen. I don't know. Can you see me? Maybe this way. Maybe this way. I don't know how to not share the screen. Oh, crikey. Oh, that's silly. Okay. I really do not know how to use this. This is one of the reasons why I am thinking about just using oh, here we go. Can you see me now? Yeah, now you can see me. How do you not share this? Oh, maybe I'm back to normal. I don't know. This is a thing that Dustin made me. Or no, I'm trying to think. I can't remember. He might have made me one. But there was a lady who my friend Gail knows who's in Marshfield. she made this one for me. That's right. All I wanted was cat sitter, and then under here I had my website. And I was gonna, because I changed my name, I painted over it, and I was gonna put my new can you see me, Michelle? Can you see this sign? I don't know if you can see me. But yeah. But can you see the sign I'm sharing? No, I can't see you. You can't see me. Okay. All right, hold on. All right, can you see this now? The sign? Okay. This lady made this for me. I think she charged me like $35 or something. She just took 2 pieces of wood. It's just 2 pieces of wood that has a piece of wood on the back to keep it together. It's pretty basic. And I gave her my cat. I wanted the cat with the bow hair. And then I just put cat sitter, and I did it reverse block because it's easy to see. And then I had my website down here. I had thekittiescorner.com. And I think I had another sign that was a plastic sign. It was like a plastic yard sign. And I think you said you remember that from Whitman, from when I was in Whitman. And you just stick it in the ground or whatever. I had those for a long time. Those cost me about $50. And so what I'm saying is, like, you could just take a piece of wood, you know what I mean? And just put a big cat sitter and put your logo on there, paint it really. It doesn't have to be perfect, because you just think of this. People are going to just see it when they're driving by. So it doesn't have to be like all detailed. It just has to be like, you know, cat sitter, you know, portraits. And then just put your name, your domain under there, you know, or your number or whatever. And yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't ask the town permission or anything. I would just put it out there, because you're not having anybody come to your house. And if they say anything, so most town bylaws, if you have an in-home business or a cottage type business, you can put one sign out or something like that. It has to be small. It can't be like a huge, like, neon sign or anything like that. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would always just do it and then ask for forgiveness if someone complains or whatever like that, you know. I don't think anyone's going to say anything. And that's kind of how they'll get to know you, that's what you're doing, you know. You could take your mailbox and paint like cats on it. Let's see. Just put cats on it. It doesn't have to say your business name. It could just have cats, you know. You could put you have some windows in the front, don't you? You could put some cat things in the window. Like sometimes you can go to the dollar store and you can find the peel and stick things for like Easter and whatever. Sometimes they have cats and dogs. Put some cats on there, you know. Or you could get some paint that washes off and just make some cats for the spring. You could make it funny. I mean, you're not advertising. You're just, anybody can put anything on their windows. You know what I mean? I have a banner in my office that has cats. I close it, and when it's at night, you can see the cats light up, that kind of thing. And even though you don't have your plate, you could technically put, when your car is parked somewhere, you could put a sign in the window in the back, you know, when you're out somewhere, then take it down when you're driving. Like you could really gussy up your car with cat stuff. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, go on Pinterest and see what they have on Pinterest. So, all right, well, that's all I have for today. I just wanted to kind of talk about like setting goals so that you're looking ahead, you're planning ahead, and thinking of a few things that you could do that resonate with you for your business and for promoting it. So, all right, I guess that's all. If you need me later, you can text me. I'm going to still just keep going on my taxes. And that's about all I have going on today. Yeah, have Matt make it. He could make a nice one. So, all right, Michelle, glad you enjoyed the tips, and we'll talk again later. Have a great day. All right, bye.